Since the beginning of human history, there's been documentation of fear, the end times. There's always been concern of catastrophe. And fear itself has some validity because we're in a world where there's harm. So I don't want to say that having fear is delusional. But I do want to say, after you take certain precautions within wisdom, too much fear is a level of delusion because you can create your own reality and you can lose the time, the good time that you have, worrying it away and not living your life. I think about human history, and most people who've been successful have been positive and optimistic. Most creators, most explorers, most entrepreneurs, most people that just simply have a healthy, successful personal relationship and good habits tend to be on the positive, optimistic side. And I think we all struggle, and I've struggled with anxiety, with stress, with depression. So I don't want to speak down to people and say that you're just mentally ill because you live in fear. But I do want to say that you should take a look at what I'm saying. And what I found in life as I've tried to develop myself physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, is that, mental illness, they're saying, and some mental disorder is associated with obesity. Mental disorder is associated with drug addicts. A level of mental disorder can be associated with religion tied to end times, fear. And I've seen it definitely even more so. I've seen it in real life in all these different aspects. Again, with obesity, I've seen it, within my family. I had an aunt died of obesity. She had a mental disorder. Her daughter had a mental disorder. I struggled with obesity, and I think about it now as like, man, I was in a level of delusion, but I also knew that I would try to pull myself back once I got to a certain point. And then I got to a level of I was so skinny, I saw how people who get stuck in anorexia, that's also a mental disorder. And I've seen online, whether it's Bitcoin, and I'm not saying Bitcoin is all fear, but a lot of Bitcoin is just based on the system collapsing. And that's fine if there's a level, like I remember going to the crap table in Atlantic City when I was young, and there was a certain amount of people that always wanted to bet on the casino, the don't pass line. On the crap table, the pass line is you're betting that the person rolling the dice will win. And the don't pass line is betting that the person who shoots the dice, they're going to fail. And the system, and the whole table is going to collapse and the casino is going to win. And I always used to be upset at people who bet the don't pass line. I said, man, why would you come to a casino and bet against the people? Why would you want there to be failure? And I just think, again, for asset allocation, for risk management, there's a time and place, okay, to bet certain odds. So I'm not shaming any bets. There's no exact science to life. But I've seen this a little bit with Bitcoin. I've seen it with, everyone always calling nuclear war in the end of times. And that can happen. But I saw this during the Afghanistan war. I remember people in church saying this is only the beginning of a systematic thing. And guys, girls, and they've been saying this, remember your parents were hiding in bunkers in the public schools, in all the school systems in the 1950s to 70s. They were afraid Russia was going to bomb us then. Fear could be a mental disorder, just like obesity, just like drug addiction, just like betting on collapse, just like thinking of collapse, just like being scared to do something. You're going to get hurt in this world. So being cautious is wise. Calculating risk is wise, and you're never going to be so smart that you get everything right. Giving yourself grace. Giving yourself grace when you fail, and I'm being very careful to control myself because I don't want to shame. I don't want to shame those who have a higher level of fear and anxiety because we all do at times. I don't want to shame those in obesity or those who like Bitcoin or those who want the end times. Look, do whatever you want. Okay? But I want to say take a look at who you are and what you're doing. Are you overall optimistic? Are you overall working on developing yourself? If you overeat, You may always be chubby. Yeah, I'll always have a wide ass, but I've been skinnier than most people will ever be. And I try to find balance. That's where I went. Same thing financially, same thing spiritually. Are you trying to find a healthy balance? Fear is out of balance. Fear is out of balance. My message to you, you get to figure it out. I don't get to figure out your life. You don't get to figure out my life. But you're not going to help yourself or help society by just latching onto fear, regurgitating it, and you got to have some trust and some hope in the future. If you don't believe that, what do you think about people who've built up a society where there is more equality, there is more opportunity, there is, through every metric, whether it's gender, financial gaps, opportunities, through every aspect of life. In 2022, think about where humanity was. You could say in America, but worldwide. Think about where humanity was in 1522. Think about where humanity was in the Bible. Think about where humanity was in the Quran and the Torah. Think about where humanity was before there was any religion. Think about humanity when there was no humanity. What if you believe in whatever? I mean, this is what I want to tell you. Look at the progress of humanity. There's been a lot of hurt and pain, and there still is, and in some areas of the world, more than others, and my heart goes out. But I focus on what I can control. And if all I can control is myself, developing myself to have a healthy balance of caution but optimism, of taking risks but calculated risks, of not just excessive fear but some good, healthy, balanced hope. I'll tell you, don't be a bastard that bets only on the do not pass line. If you're going to buy Bitcoin as a diversification, fine, but don't bet it because you want the system to collapse. If you have a drug addiction, it may be tied into a mental disorder, but like every disorder, go in a group of people who are trying to develop themselves. Same thing with eating habits. And ultimately, you have to do the work of your life. You have to bring your homework home. You have to bring your homework home. You can't just go to church. You have to do the work of your life. You can't just go to Jenny Craig. You've got to do the work of your life. We may all have certain limits. I accept that as I get older. My abilities may not be the same as other abilities. And some people may have greater abilities than me, and I may have greater than others. But focus on reaching a certain level that push yourself a little bit. Because I believe a lot of people underachieve their own ability. I don't think everyone will be great at everything. I won't, you won't. But I think you can put your energy, this is key, fear puts your energy into doing nothing, regression, worry. Hope, at least put your energy into something productive, something healthy and positive. Excuse me, my phone dropped. So I hope that if this message touches someone in a good way, I mean, do whatever you want. I hope it's good. Again, I'll have my days, you'll have your days where it's told to spare. So I don't want to try to make it too hokey dokey. But you got to catch yourself as best you can. And definitely, if you're not in the middle of war, if you're not in the middle of a disaster, then you got to really ask yourself, man, why am I pumping so much fear? You anticipating the disaster? I mean, it's one thing when you're in a complete disaster. Then it's like, it's explainable. But a lot of people, the disaster is in their mind. There's a quote that says, monsters don't live under your bed. They live in your head. And this is a challenge for all of us every day. But try to live more in productive habits than fearful drudgery. Try to type more positive, uplifting, edifying comments than fear-mongering, nasty comments. Try to do more things to work on your negative habits or negative things that we all have negativity. We're all human. All of us have positive and negative. All of us have faults, but accentuate the positive. Work on your strengths. Everyone has strengths. I don't care if it's to do a coloring book, to deliver goods and services, to write emails, to be a caretaker, to be a plumber. I always challenge people, if you tell me you have no ability, how do you have the ability to figure out how to go online, how to create a profile, how to watch a video? Did someone do all that for you, or did you do some things for yourself? Don't sell yourself short, and don't short the market of your life. Oh, I'll tell you, these people who love to short everything, I'll tell you, these got fear fuckers. I love you. Okay. Do the best you can. Thank you.